Okay, so what I think is that for a long, long time, or when I say long time, I mean in the last, sort of 2008, we had the financial crisis, and people started to wake up. And by that I mean they started to say, you know, is this all there is? Or this doesn't work anymore. Endless growth for the sake of it is not the answer. But what they couldn't work out is, well, what is the answer? How do we do it differently? How do we do things differently? And I think this 2-day programme basically is like a manual, a how-to guide to be a business in the new paradigm. What does that mean? And it comes back to, a bit like Kath was saying, it comes back to just being yourself and stripping back all the shit, all the stuff that people said, you've got to do this, you can't do this. You know, my mum said to me, you mustn't laugh, you know, that's ridiculous, it's too loud. And so for years I never laughed. And yet that's at the heart of who I am. And that'll be the same for every single person. There'll be that shit that they've shoved in the cupboard. Or if you imagine like a castle, they've closed off all the rooms and they're living in one room. They should be living in a mansion. We all should. Because we owe it to ourselves. And so that is really what we're doing on this journey and in this process.
Well, the one thing I'd say is this, that I think we're about removing the masks. We're about simplification over complexity. We're about elimination over information collection. And we're probably about helping people really let go rather than holding on tightly. Because that's where you get the leaps. And that's where people find the courage to step forward and to step out authentically and to be that wholehearted presence so that they can actually do what feels right rather than conforming to maybe a group standard or a cultural pressure. A culture of fear doesn't work. And Perfectly Imperfect is set up and designed to bring about full empowerment. It's about moving from blame to aim. It's about taking what's on the inside and bringing that whole heart out into the spirit of work so that people feel liberated, setting them free. So if anything, it's about doing less but creating more. It's a platform that says by stripping away the layers, if you like, you're getting to that most intimate self, and it's from that place that everything flows. So we get into a natural rhythm and cycle with all of who we are. And of course, when we're feeling abundant on the inside, then we tend to get that abundance on the outside. The results always follow when we're feeling in love with who we are and in love with our work. And I think the programme itself is different because, you know, it's playful, it's creative. We're coming from the right brain, not from the left brain. There's far too much of that in business. And I think that's what keeps people stuck in this old way of being. And they get lost and they get confused and they get in their heads. And actually, in many ways, they just need to get back into their heart centre and to work from that place. Because from that place, like I say, everything is possible because life feels good again.
It isn't left brain or lots of analysis and cerebral. It's actually experiential and getting in there, smelling it, tasting it, seeing it, playing with it.
Well, the first thing that inspires me about the programme is when I see the lights go on in people's eyes and I see that point of difference, that change, that spark that comes back because people remember who they really are. And so that kind of work is delicious because you can't, nothing can capture how fantastic that is when people know that they're more than enough and that it's all possible.
It's this sense, I suppose, of people really getting that they don't have to strive, that they just are. It's all about really the art of being. you know, and then everything all comes in. And it's also about modelling that. So I'm really passionate that you can't do the kind of work that Kath and I do if you haven't got it yourself.